owned parking area of any development in this country.
And what a structure it was. Who was one of his most famous first tenants?
Well, as I recollect, it was Sid Caesar.
That's correct. Your show of shows.
Frederick Rose, who later became head of the Federation of Jewish Philanthropies, spoke to me one day, and he said he personally had Mr. Sid Caesar sign the contract, the lease for his apartment. And it reminds me of a story that in Forest Hills, buying her own house in 1917 was Helen Keller. And Helen Keller typed up her own contract on her own typewriter. So celebrities in Forest Hills and Rego Park are nothing new to our particular area.
You know, Jeff, there's been a lot of talk about the tremendous influx of immigrants coming into the Rego Park area, when actually they've always been there. It's always been a very ethnically mixed area. And let me share a few stories with you. In 1924, on the southwest corner of Queens Boulevard, that property there was farmed by Chinese farmers. And at that time, the old Newtown Register newspaper, what they had done is sent a reporter down there to take photos of the Chinese farmers. They had a big farm there, and they sold their produce to market in Chinatown. And they were attacking the photographer and reporter with a pitchfork. And the reason for this is they felt that if their picture were taken, that their soul would be captured by the camera.
Interesting.
Another story, right on Queens Boulevard, those two beautiful Art Deco buildings, the Carolina and the Virginian, which have now gone co-op because of the desirable location, was the architectural work of a local resident. His name was Manug Exergin from Armenia. And this property that was for sale, and the houses, the few houses that were in the area, who was the real estate broker that sold these houses? His name was Peter Turek, with two I's, T-I-I-R-I-K. He was an Estonian from Estonia, and the stories go on and on. So Rego Park always has been a mixed community. It has always been
the first Jewish families that came into Rego Park, one of whom was a Cassell family, owned the Blue Moon Confectionery, which was the first of the candy stores of Rego Park as early as the late 1920s. And there were Jewish families spotted throughout the area in the early 30s. It could be seen in the role of members of the Rego Park Democratic Club, including your grandfather, Martin Freiburg, who later became chairman of the board of Mr. Kalish's own club.
Well, Howard Johnson's, which was the 8th Howard Johnson's in the chain. This is the original opening night menu and dedication. And what's so curious is you'll note that it says Howard Johnson's Queens Boulevard, Long Island. They didn't know what to call the area. It's not noted Rego Park, it's not noted Elmhurst. They didn't know what to call the area. So they just left it as Queens Boulevard. And that night was quite a night. This was the opening of a $500,000 roadside restaurant, which was the most expensive and most lavish in the U.S. at that time. It boasted the largest air conditioning unit in the basement. It had 3 separate dining rooms. It had a counter. It had 2 separate kitchens, one for catering and one for the general public. And it had the facilities to accommodate 1,200 people at one time. It was truly a masterpiece that coincided with the 1939-1940 World's Fair at that time, and its popular selling point was its 28 flavors of ice cream, which was on its neon sign, which attracted millions and millions of people over the years.
Let's have a sum up.
Well, I'll tell you, there's, every time that we keep learning more information, we keep discovering new things about the area. You never stop learning. It's a labor of love. If any of you people out there watching tonight or today, whatever time that you're watching, would like more information, you could be, it would be great if you could write to us. You could write to the Queens Historical Society, which is located in Weeping Beach Park. That's at 14335 37th Avenue. That's in Flushing, New York. Or you could write to the newly formed Central Queens Historical Society, and our president right here, which was just formed, which basically focuses on
Forest Hills, Rego Park, Kew Gardens, Kew Garden Hills, and the immediate neighborhoods in and around that area. I must say, if you have information and you don't care to write, many of us these days, writing isn't in, I guess, picking up a phone is, you can call Community Board number 6, open from 9 to 5 p.m. daily, at 718-263-9250, to contact myself or Mr. Marzlock, or to offer tips and information as to Rego Park history.
Also, if you'd like to write to the new Central Queens Historical, you could write to Post Office Box N, that's at Kew Garden Station, New York, 11415. All of your thoughts, comments, or any artifacts or information, we'd love to hear from you.
And that's what we're here for. Thank you very much.